Welcome to a new episode of IBA Today podcast. Let's talk. This is your host Mohammad Affan, and today we are doing a special episode on a lot of students requesting us to build this episode, particularly dedicated to how to invest your savings. So we brought in an expert from AKD Securities, Miss Ailia Naeem, one of IBA's alumni as well, and be discussing how you can save your savings and invest in it for a better future. So, Miss Ailia, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, firstly, I'm very grateful for you inviting me here to talk about trading and stocks. My name is Ailia, and I graduated from IB in 2015. Since then, I've been working in investment industry only. My first gig was at BMA Capital, and then I went to work at Intermarket Securities. Currently, I'm working at AKD Securities. Uh, Cumulatively, I have a 4 year of experience in investment markets and trading and stocks.
That's great to hear. I think because students would be looking for someone who has experience in the market to tell them how to beat the market. Can the market be beaten?
Sure, why not? Because if you look at KSE 100 returns, they are what, like, not a lot. But if you look at individual stocks, especially if you look at cements and engineering stocks and how they have performed since the last COVID wave came, when the market tanked to 27,000 and now it's at 45,000. Even though market did perform well, but there were certain stocks which even outperformed the market. So yeah, definitely, if you know where to invest, you can make lots of money.
I will be coming back to which particular stocks has skyrocketed because I was checking last night. Some stocks have gone 600% as well.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that stock as well. So the possibility of a millionaire is true, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. If you start with a good amount and if you be very selective and if you don't just follow the herd, I mean, there should be a balance between looking at how the stocks are doing and catching their price movements and also your basic research. What I have witnessed in retail investors is that they usually just get tips from random people and just follow them. I think there is an equal chance of making lots of money and losing lots of money. So the way to go about investing in stock market is definitely do your basic research. Just don't you know uh, act on small tips you get from random people.
Mhm.
So that's my one biggest tip on how to make money.
Right. So that's something that, but like, how do we get started? Like, if I'm gonna start this trading today,
Hmm.
what do I need right now?
So firstly, you need to open your trading account in
Hmm.
AKD Securities or at any brokerage house for that matter. And it's very simple. You just, you need to fill a form. You visit their branch. They will give you a form. You fill that up, and they'll ask for your CNIC and your CNIC for one or two more references. And minimum amount with which you can open a trading account is like from 5,000 to 10,000. It varies from brokerage house to brokerage house. And yeah, and then you will have a trade cast in which you'll be basically buying and selling stocks. And as soon as you get access to it, it will be visible what stocks are doing, what, how are they performing, and you will have your money. And how you can start is like basically observing what the market trend is. Like, is it in a bull run? Is it bearish? And you can also start looking at individual sectors and individual companies. And then ultimately, when you get a hold of how things work, I think that's when you start to invest first. And there's one more tip. If you have, for example, if you have 100K invested in the market, you should always if you have 100K cash in your portfolio, you should
Hmm.
always invest only 50% of it and keep 50% in cash, because
Oh.
sometimes you'll get a tip which is actually very good and like good in the sense that it also has good fundamental value. It's research based and the stock will do really well. So like what happened with me today when I was coming here for the interview was that I was completely invested in the market,
Hmm.
and there was something that came up with regards to refineries, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have any cash. So for all the investors, have 50% of your money invested in long term stocks, but keep some cash with you as well. So
Oh.
you can make those quick gains
Oh.
whenever something of the
No,
sort
this
comes
is
up.
something that I need to write down because yeah, that's something that I felt that to be honest, K, because there is something market gets. You get to know a lot of information,
Yeah,
and then you can't act because you are investing in long term
exactly,
gain.
exactly.
So that's something that is an issue back then, and Yeah, that I think. Talking about, there are two types of accounts. There's a trading account and there's the investor account. Investor account is opened by the CDC. You go open. You can. I think now you can open it online as well. I
Hmm.
think mostly people do it through for IPO purposes.
Yeah, but yeah, people do that for the IPO purpose. The one that I'm talking about
Hmm.
is the trading
Yeah.
account, which in which you go to the brokerage houses and you open the account with the brokerage house
Right.
basically.
So does AKD, or do you think that we have this system? Globally, Robinhood has been introduced. People can start trading like on the phone, on the go. Do you think
Hmm.
Pakistan still has that kind of platform where we could do that?
I think we are moving towards that, uh, l- but yeah, not right now. It's not completely online. Uh,
Hmm.
Ideally, invest account opening should be so easy that you can do it
On the phone,
on the phone or even online, and you don't have to physically visit the branch.
but we have to right now, right?
Yeah, right
Even to
now
the
we have
brokerage
to.
firms,
Yeah.
right? So I remember I had to go to the brokerage firm, I think a lot of times,
Hmm.
because I think there was an issue with these witnesses, and there's a lot of ifs and buts. But it takes a month. I think it takes a 2-3 weeks at least to open a trading account. Do you?
I think not. It shouldn't take more than a week. I don't know which brokerage house you went to,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't take more than a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll check with my broker now.
Yeah.
Because I know the investor account takes 2-3 months, 2-3 weeks.
Hmm.
But for me, the trading account as well took 2-3 weeks as well. So that had that edit. I had to wait. Right. So coming back to the question, K, where could students or viewers at this episode can check their stocks? Matlab, which stocks are going up, which stocks are going down, what's the market trend right now? So what's the platform that we can go to?
You don't actually need a platform if you have a trading account,
Mm.
and so it's very easy actually. They all brokerage houses have their own what would you say applications, which you can which is visible through their websites. So if you have a trading account at any brokerage house, you can view all the stocks and how the market is doing, and it's information is more quicker than what you will get on PSX website.
Right. So PX website is, it's a complete website for only, I think, retail investors or people who are investing in the investing account, I guess, for them to look at the stocks that they have invested for a while. And I think they get some trends as well. I think the interface will be vary from different brokerage
Yeah,
firm.
interface will vary from
Yeah.
brokerage house to brokerage house.
So,
But yeah, trading account. If you have a trading account, then
hmm.
it won't be an issue.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still I still look at the PSX because it's something that it's really helpful, I guess. To be honest, the interface is good as well. But like coming back to our next question is that the amount of research that we were talking about, when we need the amount of research, okay, how much research that we should go into when we are investing in a company? What should we look and what should we not look?
All right. So if you are a retail investor, if you get some information from anywhere, someone
Hmm.
gives you a tip, then you should definitely contact your brokerage house and firstly confirm the news. Secondly, sometimes there is not a news, but a company posts good earnings. So
Hmm.
what you can do is actually go and see what has been the trend past. For example, if you look at EPCL, and you can easily look at what were the quarterly earnings, and
Hmm.
they had minimal earnings in one or two quarters in last year, calendar year 20, but in last two quarters, like in 3Q and 4Q, their earnings started to improve.
Hmm.
So this is something that you can easily find on PSX website as well.
Right.
What have been the financials of the company? This is something that anyone can do, even
Hmm.
someone who has no
Finance
understanding,
background.
even someone who has no finance background, even they can go and check the financials of the results, the earnings of any company that they are thinking to invest in, because otherwise it's a big risk. You can't just you got a
Hmm.
tip and you can't just act on it. You actually have to look at what are the earnings, and then I might be using some finance jargons, I hope that's okay,
Hmm.
but you should also look at what is the price to earning ratio
Hmm.
that a stock is trading at, and is it justified or is it not.
Right. So definitely, yeah, and a good price to earning ratio is around.
So the currently the market's at 7 times
Hmm.
roughly, and on average it has been 9 times. So a stock which is trading at lower than 7 times is a good a good opportunity to buy. If it's
Okay.
at 6 times, if it's at 5 times, so it's a good stock to buy, because then obviously it has room to move upwards.
Okay, now
So,
that's something that I didn't
but
know.
then there are some companies where you'll see that the price to earning is even a bit above 10 times. But
Hmm.
that should be justified by some future projects that are coming up. So what does the market do? The market actually prices any new development quite early. So the stocks start rallying. So you have to see if there is any new
Hmm.
project that is coming, and what would be the earnings growth like. But I'm not sure if that is something that everyone can do or not. For that, I think you'll have to contact your brokerage house, or
Hmm.
there are brokerage houses which also write research reports and dailies. So you can also follow those to stay
Right.
up to date.
Yeah, I mean, I think brokerage houses, I personally use the brokerage groups that we have. So
Hmm.
we do get the tips as well as the analysis that they give us
Yeah.
every evening as well regarding
Hmm.
the market as well as the regarding any particular stocks that going
Hmm.
up and down. So yeah, definitely, I guess, having a connection with your broker is your number one priority,
Exactly.
I guess. And the number two priority, definitely have the analysis with the annual reports. I personally do look at the 5 year report as well. Okay, we do analysis for at least 5 years before we think of investing
Hmm.
in any particular stock and check all ratios and the future projects as well.
Right.
So I think most viewers right now might not be know how the stock market works. Let's talk about when we invest in a stock, what's the what's dividend, right?
All right. So if you invest in any stock, you earn returns in form of two, ways. Well, first is your capital gain, and the other one is your dividend
Hmm.
payouts. So dividend is basically if a company earns 10 rupees, it's the amount that it decides to pay out to its investors. So it will keep some amount, it will retain some of its earnings if it wants to invest in some future projects or capex, and otherwise it will pay out the remaining amount to the investors. So even in the market, there are some companies which are known for good dividend yields, which offer you higher dividend yields than your saving accounts, which is in double digits, like 10% or above. And there are some companies in which there's a lot of growth story, and you can make a lot of capital gain there.
Hmm.
So your first step should be, after you have opened your trading account, is
Hmm.
to decide whether you want to go somewhere which is safe and where you will get a stable dividend yield over your
Hmm.
2-3 years period, or you want to invest in a company where there is a lot of chance of capital upside and quicker gains.
Yeah, but like this is policy that I followed. Yeah, yeah, I think I'm not going for dividend because you're not going to make a lot of. I think you're not going to make a career out of having making dividend. It's like it's an investment that
Yeah,
keeps on giving up.
yeah, it's more like for people who are
Uh,
very risk averse, and
hmm.
it's also
Retirement
something.
base. I think it's people who are on
Yeah.
retirement. They want to have dividend every
Yeah.
quarterly or every month, every year. I guess whatever the
Hmm.
company has decided on. So yeah, but definitely, I think it's a personally I'd say the how the economic states it's the dead income, like the rent income is like a dead income on dividend. Okay, you
Yeah,
don't do anything and it's coming back.
exactly.
But I guess rent is much more secure than dividend because company can decide not to give a dividend, and that could actually risk a lot of things. People who are running their homes through dividend.
Yeah.
So,
But there are certain sectors, if you
hmm,
look at banks, if you look at fertilizers,
hmm,
their dividends have been very stable,
hmm,
in past few years. And if you want to make capital gains, you will have to go for cyclical sectors like cements, steel,
hmm,
where construction sector is very active these days, and
it's booming right now.
cement and steel sectors are expanding, and they have always been
Okay. We
on
did
expansion
face a
cycle.
decline last week regarding cement as well, regarding some policies. I was.
वैसे generally the government has introduced a lot
Hmm,
of incentives for the construction sector,
hmm,
but I think some movements do come in cements when coal prices
hmm,
increase, because coal is their main raw material. So
right.
yeah, maybe that's why there was a knee jerk reaction, but
Yeah.
over longer term I think cyclicals are pretty good.
Right. So, talking about what is the standard market return? Like, if you invest in a stock, what's the standard market return?
I don't think there's a standard market return.
Hmm.
I mean, you can definitely expect to earn higher
Hmm.
than what you're getting at in a savings account.
Hmm.
But yeah, it depends on what
What's
your.
the perfect like? What's the someone running a portfolio? What's the percentage that he should be aiming? Okay, and this is the percentage regarding his portfolio that
Acha, so
he should gain.
so that's what we do. Acha. So if basically since I'm a research analyst, what
Hmm.
we do is that we value a company. For
Hmm.
example, take PSO. We take out a target price, and if that target price is 15% above
Hmm.
what it is currently
Hmm.
trading at, so that is my 15% is the benchmark,
Hmm.
and that 15% is basically coming from what you're getting on your savings account, plus a market risk premium, because obviously market
Mm-hmm.
is more risky, and that's why you should keep a premium above it. So like 8.5% is roughly what PIBs are paying you right now,
Mm-hmm.
what you'll get it in a savings account, and then 6% of market risk premium. So there's a benchmark of 15%, and it obviously varies with your interest rates. So if, for example, State Bank increases your interest rates by 2 percentage points, in coming 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
so this 15% will go up to 17%.
Right.
So yeah, your benchmark is your market risk premium
Mm-hmm.
plus whatever your policy rates are currently.
Right. So that's something that one should think about. His portfolio should gain. Like, I also wanted to ask you, when could one decide? Like, you invested long on some particular stocks, you're getting this percentage every year. When to decide, dump this stock because you can't see that much growth in it.
I think time horizon actually varies from person to
Mm-hmm.
person. There are people who, do day trading. There are
Mm-hmm.
people who have a time horizon of 1 month. There are people who have a time horizon of 3 months or longer. So it definitely depends on personal preference and
Mm-hmm.
what's your liquidity requirements are. So for example, I'm saving for something, and
Mm-hmm.
I need cash within 6 months. So that would
Right.
be my time horizon. I think it depends from person to person, and obviously, also on the company as
Mm-hmm.
well. Yeah.
Right. Definitely. I guess the market is very volatile, and you need to understand whoever is planning to go after this episode to go into the market is volatile. If you think about the Senate elections, I was thinking, I was very happy my portfolio was 30 to 40% up this year, and I was happy that by the end I would be making 50 to 60%, and then Senate election happened and we went to back to square one, and I really was, I should have went out back then. I should have liquidated everything that I had, at least most of the holdings that I had. And I particularly suffered from that. I had to start from there. So you need to understand, I guess, when to sell and when to buy.
I think buy on dips. It was a very good opportunity for people who had cash to buy.
Absolutely.
but
Like I,
but I think it takes a lot of guts to actually
hmm,
buy at that time, because you don't know how much market is
it
going
will
to
go down
tank from
again.
that point.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember a particular stock that I bought at 107, and that was during Shawaz Sharif's arrest, and the market was going down at that point, and then and I thought 107 is fine because the stock was around 120 and 107. I think I got it at a
Hmm.
discount rate.
Hmm.
The stock went around 90, so I could have saved more if I could have waited more. So
Right.
that this is how market is. Like you need to know.
The timing is
Hmm.
actually everything. It's
Right.
everything. Your timing, it starts from there, it ends from
Hmm.
there. But your timing is something that you learn over a certain period
Yeah,
of time. After you have,
definitely.
yeah, you have spent some time,
Hmm.
at least 6 months to 7 months,
At least a
looking at
year,
the
I would
market.
say.
Yeah, looking at the market and
Hmm.
how it behaves and how
Right.
much volatility it can show.
And different events that are happening across the year, you will
Yeah.
see through that. So we'll, come back to our next segment, which we have really created for the rapid that we want to have in the market right now. So, Elia, right? So I have two. I'll give you two options. You have to choose one of those options, where one should go into the market right now. ETFs or mutual fund?
Mutual fund.
Okay. Bonds or stocks?
Stocks.
Okay. Common stock or preferred stock?
Common stock.
Okay. Stocks or forex?
Stocks.
Okay. Interest or dividend?
Dividends.
Okay. That's kind of something that all stock options, more or less. Coming back to the buy and sell segment. Okay. I'm giving you the options of stocks and just tell me whether you want whether we one should buy it or sell it right now. TRG,
Buy.
sell, yeah.
No, it
It's
still
going to
has a
go
lot
up.
of potential.
It doesn't. It's just overpriced right now. Netsol,
Buy.
buy. It's a bit too expensive to buy for a retail now. Unity,
Buy.
okay. Aga, Steel,
I'm not sure where it is at currently, but I
it's at
think sell.
32
I
right
don't
now.
like it. I don't like the stock fundamentally a lot.
यार अभी
So
तो
I
ऊपर
would
नहीं गया
sell.
इतना. AGP, pharmaceuticals.
Sell because, recently I've read in news which is not very encouraging with regards to AGP.
अच्छा.
Yeah. It just came in today.
I need to check the stock. TMCL, the organic meat company.
Buy.
Buy.
Because
Oh.
consumers, so, there's a
Hmm.
lot of space to grow.
GSK Healthcare.
Buy. I like pharmas overall.
Okay. And I just need to check AGP then.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's it for the episode, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I personally got a lot of information that I need to implement right now and call the broker to discuss that. But that's it for the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll try to have this on a continuous basis, at least a month or after every 2 months, so that we understand the market more gladly. I hope Alia can
Sure,
have
sure.
a time, or someone from
Yeah.
her securities at least.
No worries. I had a lot of fun as well. So
Right. So
thank you.
hope you all enjoyed, and thank you, Alia, and thank you everyone. See you in the next episode. Allah Hafiz.